Realist Theory. Realist Theory in International Relations. Historical Foundations and Evolution. Ancient and Classical Roots. Thucydides, 460 to 395 BCE. History of Peloponnesian War. Malayan Dialogue. Niccolo Machiavelli, 1469 to 1527. The Prince. Risen, dated. Thomas Hobbes, 1588 to 1679. State of Nature, Leviathan. Kautilya, 350 to 275 BCE. Arthashastra, Indian realist thought. Modern development emerged as dominant theory post World War II. Reaction against idealist failure to prevent war. Cold War context shaped theoretical development. E.H. Carr's The 20 Years Crisis, 1939. Hans Morgenthau's Politics Among Nations, 1948. Core assumptions and principles. Fundamental preposition. International system is anarchic. No central authority. States are primary actors in international politics. States are rational, unitary actors. Survival and security are primary state concerns. Power is fundamental currency of international politics. Moral principles subordinate to national interests. View of human nature inherently self-interested and power-seeking, driven by animus dominandi, will to power. Psychological roots for political behavior. Constant struggle for security and advantage. Key concepts and terminology. Power. Military capability as primary component. Economic strength and resources. Geographical position and population. Political stability and leadership. Hard power versus soft power considerations. Security dilemma. Actions for self defense appear threatening to others. Arms races and escalation dynamics. Inherent tension in anarchy. Difficulty distinguishing defensive intentions. Balance of power. Natural tendency of international systems. States form alliances against rising powers. Multiple balancing mechanisms. Historical examples from European state system. National interest. Defined in terms of power. Survival as fundamental interest. Variations in secondary interests. Objective rather than subjective concept. Major variants and schools. Classical realism. Human nature centered explanation. Psychological drives for power. Emphasis on statesmanship and prudence. Historical and philosophical approach. Structural realism, neorealism. Kenneth Waltz, Theory of International Politics, 1979. International system structure determines outcomes. Distribution of capabilities, key variable. States as positional actors in system. Defensive realism. Security maximization rather than power maximization. Offensive actions often counterproductive. Status quo orientation generally optimal. Security through moderate policies. Offensive realism. John Mearsheimer's Tragedy of Great Power Politics. States maximize power for security. Hegemony as ultimate security. Constant power competition inevitable. Neoclassical realism combines systematic and unit level variables. Domestic factors affect foreign policy. Intervening variables in threat assessment. More nuanced explanatory framework. Key thinkers and contribution. Hans Morgenthau, Six Principles of Political Realism, Concept of Interest Defined as Power, Autonomy of Political Sphere, Critique of Moralism and Legalism. Kenneth Waltz, Three Images of International Relations, Systemic Theory of International Politics, Scientific Approach to Theory Building, Structural Constraints on State Behavior. E.H. Carr, Critique of Utopianism, Relationship between Power and Morality, Concept of Harmony of Interests as Ideology, Historical Approach to Theory. Other influential figures: George Kennan, Containment Theory, Containment Strategy, Henry Kissinger, Balance of Power Diplomacy, Robert Gilpin, Hegemonic Stability Theory, Stephen Wald, Balance of Threat Theory. Central theoretical propositions: anarchy and its consequences, no authority above states, self help system, security primary concern, primary concern, relative gains considerations, rational actor model, cost benefit calculation, strategic behavior, means ends rationality, expected utility maximization, conflict and competition, inevitability of conflict, zero sum aspects of politics, constant security competition, war as always possible. Policy implications and applications, foreign policy approach, real politic orientation, balance of power politics, alliance of formation and management, deterrence strategies, coercive diplomacy, security policy, military preparedness, arms procurement and development, intelligence gathering, defense planning and strategy, economic policy, economic strength as power base, strategic resource control, trade policies supporting security, technology development for advantage, criticisms and limitations, theoretical critiques, overemphasis on conflict and competition, neglect of cooperation possibilities, state centric bias, undervaluing international institutions, undeterministic and pessimistic outlook. Empirical challenges, democratic peace phenomena, European Union integration, international regime effectiveness, globalization impacts, non state actor influence, methodological issues, difficulty defining and measuring power, problem of predicting specific outcomes, limited explanatory power for exchange, under specification for causal mechanisms, contemporary applications, great power competition, US China strategic rivalry, Russia's resurgence, regional power dynamics, nuclear proliferation concerns, security challenges, terrorism and asymmetric warfare, cybersecurity threats, energy security issues, maritime disputes and control, regional context, Middle East, Eastern balance of power, Asian security architecture, European security after Cold War, African conflict patterns, evolution and current status, theoretical refinements, incorporation of economics factor, attention to domestic politics, improved understanding of cooperation, more sophisticated power analysis, enduring relevance, explanation of major power behavior, security dilemma applications, alliance dynamics understanding, war and conflict analysis, future direction, cyber power consideration, environmental security issues, non-state actor challenges, global governance implications. Realist theory remains fundamental to understanding international politics, providing powerful explanation for state behavior in security matters while continuing to evolve in response to theoretical challenges and changing global conditions. That's it for this topic.